Ever get that feeling? Like deep down, you're capable of absolutely amazing things, but something's just holding you back.
Hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today, this feeling. Unpacking this incredible message from Saint-Germain about stepping into your power. And get this, embracing joy while you're at it.
And the really interesting thing is, this isn't like some message from a mountaintop retreat. This comes straight out of the Crimson Circle's Metaphysics of the Merlin event. They even had, get this, a visitor from the future there.
From the future. Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. See, that's why I love this. This stuff always keeps you on your toes. But hold on. For those of us who might not be familiar with the Crimson Circle, what are we talking about here?
Think of them as this group really exploring consciousness, personal enlightenment, that kind of thing. You know, going beyond the everyday,
Yeah. And their Metaphysics of the Merlin event. That was all focused on.
accessing that inner wisdom, that we all have, but sometimes it's buried deep down.
And who better to guide us on that journey than Saint-Germain himself? I mean, talk about a larger-than-life figure in the spiritual world.
Oh, absolutely. And he's known for being, shall we say, a bit flamboyant.
Just a tad. In
Hmm.
fact, he even jokes about his outfit in this session right off the bat.
He does. But beneath all that, there's this well of wisdom he's sharing, and it's all directed like a laser beam at you, the listener.
No kidding. It's like he's saying, listen up, this is important. And he's not mincing words either. He comes right out and says it. We're in a new era. Individual power, spiritual growth, that's where it's at.
He's basically saying, enough with playing small. You're capable of so much more.
Exactly. What really struck me was when he talked about letting go. And I don't just mean external obstacles, but the ones we put on ourselves, in our own minds.
Oh, absolutely. Those inner limitations, those can be the toughest to break free from. He talks about the masks we wear, how we hide our true selves, not just from the world, but sometimes even from ourselves.
It's like we're afraid to let our light shine.
And here's the thing, he links that directly to experiencing true joy. It's like when we hold back, when we don't fully embrace who we are, it blocks that joy from flowing through us.
So it's not about spirituality being this abstract concept, some far-off goal. It's about how we show up in our lives, right here, right now, authentically and joyfully.
Yes. And the amazing thing is, he doesn't just tell us to do it, he actually gives us a method, a practice. He ends the session with something called a morab. Now, this isn't your typical meditation.
Which, let's face it, can be kind of intimidating for some people. You're
Yeah.
sitting there trying to clear your mind, and it feels like everything but quiet in there.
Oh, tell me about it. But the morab, the way Saint-Germain describes it, it's about bringing everything in.
Bringing everything in.
Yeah, it's about being receptive, allowing yourself to be filled with a sense of peace, this feeling of connection. It's not about emptying your mind, it's about opening it up. Imagine basking in the sun, that warmth washing over you. It's like that, this feeling of being enveloped, nurtured.
It really is a powerful image, allowing ourselves to be like bathed in that warmth and light. And speaking of light, he then goes on to talk about Yeshua, which I feel like connects to all this in a really beautiful way.
It does. It all ties together. Now, for anyone listening who might not be familiar, Yeshua, it's just the Aramaic name for Jesus.
Ah, okay, got it.
And Saint Germain, he has a really interesting take on it. He doesn't just talk about Yeshua as, a single person, but as this kind of collective being, an embodiment of what he calls Christ consciousness.
Okay, now hold on. Christ consciousness. I'm going to need a little help with that one. What are we talking about here?
Basically, think of it as the highest level of consciousness there is. This state of pure love, compassion, just like oneness with everything. And Saint Germain's saying that Yeshua, as this collective being, carried that Christ consciousness. And then through the ascension, all that energy, it transformed into this pure light. And now it's accessible to all of us.
Whoa. So you're saying, like, no matter who you are, what you believe, that incredible energy is available.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really powerful. He actually tells listeners, you were part of the energy that supported Yeshua back in the day. This light we're talking about. It's not some far off thing. It's familiar, something we've already experienced.
Okay, now that gives me chills. To think that we have this connection to that kind of love and light. It's like remembering something you'd totally forgotten about.
It is like remembering, yeah. And he's so clear about this. It's not something we have to earn or, be worthy of. It's already ours. We just have to be open to receiving it.
Which makes me think back to the morab we were talking about earlier. Is that part of it, opening ourselves up to receive that light, that Christ consciousness?
That's what I believe, yeah. It's about surrender, letting go of that need to control, to figure it all out in our minds, just being present, open, and letting that energy in. because it's there.
It's like he's saying, stop trying so hard. Just relax and receive all the abundance that's already yours.
Yeah,
Which I love, but honestly, it's easier said than done, right? We've got these doubts, these insecurities whispering, are you sure you deserve this?
totally. We all have those voices every now and then. And that's where Saint-Germain, he brings in these powerful allies, these guides. Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and then another Mary. He doesn't name her specifically.
Interesting that he focuses on these feminine figures,
Yeah.
because sometimes these traditions can feel very male-dominated.
Oh, yeah, right? It's like he's emphasizing this balance, the importance of the divine feminine. He talks about them as these embodiments of love, compassion, support, especially when it comes to self-love, which, let's be honest, a lot of us struggle with.
And loving others, too. Not always easy,
Mm.
but to think we have these spiritual figures in our corner, rooting for us, offering that support,
Mm.
that's comforting.
It really is, and it makes it all so much more practical, don't you think? This isn't just like vague spiritual stuff. It's like he's giving us real tools, resources to deal with being human.
And speaking of being human, dealing with the world, he doesn't sugarcoat that either. He mentions that visitor from the future, right? The one who described our current world as, and I quote, controlled chaos. I mean, that about sums it up, doesn't it?
Pretty much. And that's what makes his message even more important right now because, seriously, with all the news, the conflict, climate change, it's easy to just feel overwhelmed, right? Like, what can we even do? But here's the thing. He says it's not our must to clean up.
Okay, phew. Glad to hear that. But if we're not supposed to fix it all, what are we supposed to do?
He says, remember, the planet, it's on its own journey. Just like we go through growth, transformation, the Earth does too. And listen, we can contribute in positive ways through our actions or choices for sure, but
Right.
we don't need to get bogged down by that fear, that feeling like we got to save the world.
So it's about finding that balance. Like
Yeah.
being compassionate, engaged, but not letting the chaos drag us down.
Exactly. Detach from the drama a little bit. And I don't mean be indifferent, but just recognize our energy's best spent on our own growth, our own light. And then that radiates outwards.
Right, right. Which reminds me of something else he said about our role in all of this.
Are you thinking about the part where he says that the planet's evolution, its journey towards enlightenment, it's happening because we're here, because we're shining our light?
Yes, that's it. Like
Yeah.
he's giving us this cosmic pep talk. We're not insignificant, Our presence, our light, it matters.
It really does. It goes back to that whole stepping into our power thing. It's like he's saying our existence, just by being here, contributes to the planet evolving in a positive direction.
Wow. Powerful stuff. But also, I don't know about you, sometimes it feels like a lot of pressure. Like, gotta shine my light, gotta make a difference. Can be a little overwhelming.
Oh, for sure. You hit the nail on the head there. And Saint-Germain, he actually addresses that directly. He reminds us we don't have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. He even says, and I'm paraphrasing a little here, that Yeshua, as that collective being, already went through it. The depths of suffering for all of humanity. There's no need for us to carry that burden.
So no more martyr complex. No more suffering is noble.
Nope. He wants us to embrace joy. Experience the fullness of life, no guilt trips, no feeling obligated to suffer. He even says, and I love this, that he's going to come check on us and ask, why aren't you enjoying yourself? Why are you still suffering?
Talk about tough love.
Yeah.
It's not every day you hear a spiritual teacher saying, hey, enjoy yourselves or else. Pretty refreshing, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around. It really challenges those ideas people have about spirituality,
Yeah.
Like it's all about sacrifice. We're being serious all the time. Saint-Germain just cuts right through that.
Enjoy. Just like that. Permission granted, no more guilt trips.
Exactly. You don't earn joy by suffering, right? It's already there.
Like that light we were talking about. Part of who we are. And honestly, that's such an important message, especially these days. Easy to get caught up in the negativity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's reminding us, yeah, it's complicated. Yeah, there are challenges. But you're also here to experience joy. Shine your light. You're not alone in all of this.
Well said. Gives you a whole new perspective, right? Not about pretending everything's perfect, but how do we navigate this world, all the ups and downs, and stay connected to that joy inside?
And maybe even make a difference while we're at it.
Exactly. Because when you're coming from that place, that joy, that inner peace, you make different choices, better choices. For yourself, for everyone, even for the planet.
So if our listeners take away one thing from this whole deep dive, what would you say it should be?
You are a powerful spiritual being, capable of incredible joy. Right now, right here. Don't wait for things to be perfect, that weight of the world. not yours to carry. Embrace that light within you, let it shine.
Beautifully said. And hey, if you're feeling lost, unsure, you got a whole team of spiritual cheerleaders on your side. The Marys, they've got your back, always, ready to offer support, love, all of that. So there you have it, straight from Saint-Germain. Radical self-acceptance, joy, stepping into your power. We hope this deep dive leaves you feeling inspired, ready to embrace life fully, just as you are.